Hi there, this is Vijay Bambani and I'm recording this video from my residence as usual, still staying indoors and obeying the lockdown instructions. Now this video for me is of paramount importance. When you watch this video, you will not only possibly get a handle on what's happening in the market, but you will also learn how to think using behavioral financial signals, using the technique that I have so often said. I've called it the 360-degree worldview, boots on the ground, eyes in the sky, call it what you will. In 2017, Middle East country, Qatar, was militarily embargoed by the Saudis, the Kuwaitis, the UAE, and Egypt. In 2019, which is last year, I wrote an article on Equity Master saying how Qatar was rearing cows and it was good news for India. Before you jump to the conclusion that I am commenting on a political event here, please do not hold that thought. As a matter of fact, banish that thought. The reason I was rejoicing in that article saying Qatar was rearing cows because Qatar was militarily embargoed by these four countries, and they basically cut all aircraft traffic, land and sea access to Qatar was made very difficult. So Qatar started basically cultivating its own dairy kind of farming, so that milk, meat, etc., was kind of in-house kind of arranged. Why is Qatar so important? Number one, Qatar has the highest per capita income in the world. In terms of rupees, it will be between 97 lakhs to 1 crore and 3 lakhs per annum. Wow. That's the kind of country I would like to live in, wouldn't I? As long as the monetary aspect is concerned. The second aspect, the Qatar Sovereign Wealth Fund or the investment fund is one of the richest in the world. As a matter of fact, the surplus is so big that Qatar is a very big investor in India. We have a variety of tie-ups with Qatar. We share security online and military security pacts. Qatar has been employing at its peak 7 lakh Indians in various job profiles. And remember, the Qataris are one of the topmost paymasters in the world. So the Indian NRIs, who at their peak were totaling 7 lakhs in Qatar, were sending millions of dollars to India as NRI remittances. After the 2017 military embargo of June, the Qataris, over a period of time, have been withdrawing from the Middle Eastern kind of partnerships. So Qatar is out of OPEC now. And slowly but surely, Qatar is even rejigging its fossil fuels, which is natural gas primarily, and crude oil, which is a secondary export of Qatar. And it's basically changing the entire product mix. It will focus more on natural gas than crude oil. The news that triggered me to make this video was that the Qataris have set the official selling price, OSP, of crude oil, whatever little crude oil they do export, as compared to natural gas, which they are a humongous exporter of. Whatever little crude oil they do export, the official selling price of that has been set to, hold your breath, the lows of 1999. So Qatar is back 21 years in time and is willing to sell its crude at a steep discount, which is bad news for Qatar and by default bad news for India. Fewer jobs for Indian NRIs in Qatar, fewer amount of dollars to come back home as NRI remittances. If you think you can invest in the markets without keeping an eye in your neighborhood and see what's happening out there, I assure you, you won't really go too far. Qatar, by the way, is also a confirmed investor, a sizable investor in the Bharatmala Pan-India Road project. The Qatar Sovereign Investment Fund has invested a huge amount of money in the Indian stock market. If Qatar is basically pulling money out or feeling a cash crunch by selling its fossil fuels cheaper, I dread the time when somebody like Qatar Sovereign Investment Fund, God forbid, is pressurized to sell their assets in India. It's not happened yet, but my job is to keep you forewarned. This is my 360-degree worldview. This is my boots on the ground and eyes in the sky kind of pattern of investing. My canvas of looking at the market is somewhat expansive as compared to the others. I tend to look at a lot of things before I take any investment or trading decision. If you go back in time, say between October and November 2017, you will realize that there was a whole deal of volatility in a telecom stock and natural gas stock. Not surprising, Qatar had a huge stake in that telecom company. It tried to pull money out and the stock crashed. Qatar also, through its official canalizing exporting agency, RasGas, has a long-term supply contract of CNG to India. The company through which India imported that CNG, the stock price got the jitters. This is what can happen if you ignore these signals which are right in front of your eyes. I want my viewers to broaden their horizon, to have a larger worldview of what's happening in the world around them, so that they can be well prepared for any kind of adversity that might come from any direction and hit you bang in the stomach. The idea is to stay sharp and stay alert. More on this later, but right now I'm pretty worried about Qatar, and the news that I do have is that quite a few Indians from Qatar are finding their way back home to India, which means fewer NRI remittances. Let's keep an eye on Qatar. I assure you, more videos coming from me in the near future. This will have a direct bearing on the USD INR. This will have a direct bearing on the investments in our roadways projects and possibly, I'm using the word possibly, even the supply contracts of CNG with India. Before I sign off from this video, let me remind you to click like on this video if you're watching it on YouTube. In the comments section, do let me know what you think about my video and what other videos you would want me to record in the future. Do not forget to share this video with your family and friends and help me spread the cult of knowledge-based investments and trading. Also, do join Equity Master on Telegram with the official handle Equity Master Official, wherein I post at least 2 to 3 updates every day, Monday to Friday. I would love it if you would read those posts. Vijay Bambani signing off from this video till we meet again in my next. Please take very good care of yourself, your investments, and your trade. Thank you. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my free email newsletter, Fast Profits Daily, and get my free guide, How to Trade Markets Like a Pro.